Hi, it is once again around 5 in the morning, and this morning, I need to talk about celebrities that I think would have been good on The Muppet Show. So, I woke up this morning, like any other person, being like, man, this celebrity, I'm keeping them a secret for now because they're later on this list. Man, this. Okay, hello? Goddamn, where even was I? Oh, okay. So I woke up this morning being like, man, this celebrity would have been great on The Muppet Show if it were still around. It's really sad that it's not still around. There would have been so many, great celebrities featured on The Muppet Show. And this has led me to creating a modern season of The Muppet Show. Basically, if The Muppet Show was going on today and had a season, or in and around the 2020s, and had a season, who do I think all the celebrities of each episode should be? All right, so first, let's set a few ground rules. I tried to stick to the ethos of The Muppet Show, and The Muppet Show, especially in its later seasons, hosted all kinds of celebrities, but there was an emphasis on making them sing and dance. And during the earlier parts of The Muppet Show, there was more of a focus on celebrities who were singers or dancers or theater stars. So I tried to pick celebrities that have been known to sing or dance, or who I think would be willing to sing or dance. Good, good. There is only, to my knowledge, one person on this list who was on the actual Muppet Show back in the day and is on the Muppet Show, my Muppet Show. They're the only person who gets to do this. They're special. You'll see. You know what? You'll agree. You'll agree. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to be bold. You will agree with my choice of who gets to be the only person on this list that is a repeat. So, the Muppet Show aired for so long, from 1976 to 1981, and it had around 120 episodes. I made my season 28 episodes long with one honorable mention that we will get to at the end. They don't have to be their own episode, but I do want them to cameo somewhere. Maybe they can be voices. You'll see. Okay. These episodes are in no particular order, but the first episode would be John Oliver. Now, is John Oliver the biggest name in Hollywood? No. And he probably is going to attract an older or at least more adult audience. The thing about The Muppet Show was it was supposed to be for the whole family. And when I mean for the whole family, I mean they would have things that would be entertaining to kids, but often the celebrities are people the kids might not know. Um, and sometimes the humor can be a bit adult. Jim Henson did not want to be seen as someone who only made kids media. And so I think as someone who is not hip with the kids, John Oliver would be a great choice. Also, he's willing to do a little song and dance. We saw what he did as Zazu the parrot in the live action Lion King movie. It's not his fault that movie sucked. That's not his fault. So, and I think that he would be very willing to get on the Muppet stage and do a little song and dance. In fact, I think he'd be honored. I think he would be honored. And frankly, he'd fit in. He kind of looks like a Muppet. And I promise I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it as a compliment. John Oliver, compliment. You look like a Muppet. Episode 2 would be Jackie Chan. Now, I don't know Jackie Chan to sing or dance, but I think he would be willing to. Again, not very hip with the kids. But I think, like, in and around the time of the Kung Fu Panda movies, maybe he would have, like, helped do some Kung Fu Panda promo on the Muppet Show. I don't know. I think he would have made a really fun episode. It would have been interesting. Miss Piggy's karate versus Jackie Chan's actual martial arts. Honestly, it would be kind of funny to see Miss Piggy just absolutely kick Jackie Chan's ass for no fucking reason. That would be hysterical, and I would love to see it. I think Jackie Chan would be willing to do a little song, do a little dance, get a little goofy with the Muppets. He seems like the kind of person who's willing to get a little goofy in interviews. So yeah, episode 2, Jackie Chan. Now, like I said, these are in no particular order. So episode 3 is Miley Cyrus. Now, why Miley Cyrus? Mostly because I like her and I want her to, but also, if you don't know, the Muppets are now, since Jim Henson's death, owned by Disney, and Disney kind of hasn't done a ton with them since they acquired the rights to the Muppets, which is a video for another day. Disney has kind of done the Muppets dirty, in my opinion. But Miley Cyrus just accepted Disney's Legacy Award. So I think at some point in her career, when she was still with Disney, they would have gotten her to do a thing with the Muppet Show. But also her whole, like, wig, Hannah Montana thing. I think the Muppets would have liked that. They would have thought that that was really cool, and I think that they would have tried to make themselves Hannah Montana-esque disguises. Maybe it could be a running gag that, like, well, you guys, I was Hannah Montana a long time ago. I don't do the whole disguise thing anymore. And the Muppets are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what do you mean? Like, they haven't been keeping up with her since she left Disney. Episode 4, Danny DeVito. He's Danny DeVito. I feel like he's obviously willing to do a little song and dance. He's a comedian, so he would have worked really well with the Muppets energy. And he's Danny DeVito. If you're gonna have like a talk show like that, there are some people, big stars, that you have to have on your list, and I think Danny DeVito is one of those big stars where if he's not on your list of like really famous people to interview or whatever, that people are like, what? No Danny DeVito? What? Especially if we're talking about people who are gonna like do a little song and dance on a comedy show. That's gonna be Danny DeVito, and he's gonna commit to the bit every single time. I don't know why, but I think he would have been particularly funny with Fozzie Bear. Some interaction between him and Rizzo the Rat, I think, also would have been funny. Would have loved to see him doing his little song and dance with the band. What's their name? Mystic Mayhem? Yes, Mystic Mayhem. I would have loved to see him doing a little song with them. I think that would have been fun. And that brings us on to episode 6, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg just kind of does anything and everything. Snoop Dogg would say yes and just go on there and sing a little song and do his little, oh yes, I am Snoop Dogg. Look at me, be Snoop Dogg. Because that's kind of like what he's been doing recently. I mean, don't lie to me. You kind of want to see Snoop Dogg offer the Muppets weed, right? Right? Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. You want to see that. I want to see that too. We all want to see it. Let's just make it happen. Anyways, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, episode 6 is LeVar Burton. If you don't know who LeVar Burton is, he was on Star Trek The Next Generation. He was on The Reading Rainbow. He was very briefly on Jeopardy! If you don't know Jeopardy! Ask your parents or your grandparents about it. They probably know Jeopardy! I think LeVar Burton was snubbed. I think he should have gotten the host position. He did not. It went to some white guy. LeVar, you were snubbed, and therefore I think he should come be on my version of The Muppet Show. I don't know LeVar Burton to sing and dance, but I think with his reputation on Reading Rainbow, I think he would do it. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't actually seen Reading Rainbow. I was a little bit too old for it. Or, no, I was a little bit too young for it, sorry. But yeah, I think he would have been very willing to get on The Muppet Show and do a little song and dance. They could have done, like, an episode about kindness or world peace. Jim Henson was really into that. He wanted... I believe the, like, ethos of one of the shows he created, Fraggle Rock, was he wanted a show that would, like, result in world peace, that would make world peace. I don't know if that was about Sesame Street or Fraggle Rock. I can't remember. But I feel like LeVar Burton would have been on board with that. Maybe they could have made some Star Trek references that would have made only me and no one else in the audience happy. Well, maybe it would have made other people in the audience... It would have made other people happy, but I mean, it would be the Muppets and Star Trek in the same. Those are my. And I have autism. So I would just be like through the fucking roof if that ever happened. LeVar Burton and the Muppets. Incredible. Episode 7 would be Meryl Streep. Now, I don't actually have any particular feelings about Meryl Streep, but she's very famous. She does be doing a little song sometimes. I don't actually think she's all that great of a singer, but she's very famous. People like her a lot. So I think she would probably make an appearance on this modern Muppet Show at least once. Episode 9. No, 8. 8? Yes, 8. Would be in a similar vein to LeVar Burton, Patrick Stewart. I know Patrick Stewart has been in Muppet media. However, do you not want to see him in more Muppet media? Also, he hasn't been on The Muppet Show. So while he's been in other Muppet media, he has not been on The Muppet Show, and I want to see him on The Muppet Show. I want him to, I don't know. He's a sir. Maybe he can teach them about like being a lord or something. I don't know. I just want to see him on the Muppet Show. He has a very theatrical background, and again, they could also do something Star Trek. They could do like you could do so much with Patrick Stewart because he's just been in so many things, and especially so many like beloved nerdy things. Thank God he wasn't in like Lord of the Rings or something, because if he was in Star Trek, X-Men, and Lord of the Rings, that would have killed me. Also, can you imagine a version of Lord of the Rings with Patrick Stewart in it? He must have been considered for one of the roles at some point, right? Is Patrick Stewart? Hold on. Now I've confused myself because it just seems right. There's no way. I would definitely know that. I don't know if you can hear my dog licking her feet in the background, but it's really annoying. Ah, okay. He turned down the offer to be in Lord of the Rings. But apparently Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are besties, which is great. I love knowing that now. Okay, anyways, Patrick Stewart, he's very theatrical, and I think he would have really gone along with the Muppets antics. I think a really great episode to put him in would be something where they're trying to put on like a talent show or like a play, something different to the Muppet Show, and for some reason Patrick Stewart has to come in and instruct them and be their guest star. I don't know why. I just think that would work very well. Anyways, number 9 is Ryan Reynolds. I don't really like Ryan Reynolds. I think he's kind of gotten to the point of being annoying. Like, it was funny at first, but I think that if the Muppet Show had a season in the last 10 years, he definitely would have had like an episode on the Muppet Show as Deadpool. I do think it might have been funny. I do think it would have been funny to see him flirt with all of the Muppets. Like, literally all of them. He would flirt with all of the Muppets, and that would have been funny. Other than that, I wouldn't be super interested in the Ryan Reynolds episode. He's just, you know. And now, at number 10, we have Daniel Radcliffe. I think that Daniel Radcliffe specifically would have been on The Muppet Show during that time that he was doing plays. And I don't know if he was doing musicals, but he was definitely doing a play. And trying to like break away from the Harry Potter image that he got for himself, which I think that he has successfully done. If you have seen any of his other movies after Harry Potter or any of his other work after Harry Potter, I think he's done a very good job breaking away from that role, which is hard for child stars, so I highly commend him. But I think during that time that he was trying to break away from the limelight of Harry Potter, a great way to do that would have been to be on The Muppet Show, poke fun a little bit at the Harry Potter stuff, and then promo what new things he had coming up. Because often the celebrities that were on The Muppet Show were using it as an opportunity, like every other variety show, to promote something that they were going to be in upcoming. And now we're getting to a pretty exciting part of the list. Y'all are going to be excited about this. Number 11 is obviously, and you're going to be wondering how I haven't mentioned her yet, Chapel Roan. Now, I know Chapel Roan has had a lot of controversy in the last few weeks. I don't care. I don't care. I think a lot of people are being pedantic. I think a lot of them are. I think a lot of them wouldn't be mad if she was straight. Anyways, we're not going to get into that right now. Tell me she wouldn't kill on The Muppet Show. Sing and dance, she's a great singer. And, like, something about the Muppets is they're gonna put on a performance. They're gonna put on a show, with the lights and the sounds and the fireworks. And if there's one thing that Chapel's gonna do, it's put on a show. It's bring the dramatics. And so I think that would make her a perfect fit for the Muppet Show. Like, I mean, come on. There's also that whole thing about how people like have a conspiracy theory that she keeps dressing like Miss Piggy. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do love it, and I do see it whenever people like do the comparison pictures. I'm like, oh my god, she kind of is dressed like Miss Piggy. I don't know if I want them to love or hate each other. I just know I want it to happen. I just know that I want Chapel Roan on the Muppet Show so bad. Also, I don't know much about her personally, but she just seems like the type of person who would be into Muppets. I say that as the type of person who's into Muppets. So yeah. So, number 12, if we're going to talk about Chapel Roan, we can't not talk about Sabrina Carpenter, who was the other big rising pop star this year. I am less of a fan of Sabrina Carpenter than I am of Chapel Roan. I casually listen to some of her music, and I've seen some clips of her on TikTok and Instagram, and specifically, I've seen some clips of her Short and Sweet tour that has just started. I think it's just started. And okay, the thing that really got me to put her on this list was seeing that she does some of her shows in character shoes. And seeing that, I was like, I don't think I've seen a pop star wear character shoes on stage ever, 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 ever. I was like, that says a lot to me that she's wearing like, obviously sometimes she's wearing like heels and chunky boots and all that sort of stuff. But like, just the fact that there's a portion of her show where she was like, I'm gonna need to be on my feet and running around enough that I'm gonna need to be in character shoes. I was really impressed. And so I went to go like look at some of the clips where she's wearing the character shoes, and I can totally see why she's wearing them. I mean, she starts the show by like coming like running down this big flight of stairs. That's hard to do in heels, and it's hard to do in character shoes, but character shoes make it a lot easier to do stuff like that. So I highly commend her for putting the safety of her feet above like the outfit. And I don't know, that's just really impressive to me. Obviously she's super super famous and doing super super well right now, so of course they would invite her. And let's be real, we can see her have a blonde off with Miss Piggy. She can fight Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy would obviously win. Sorry, Sabrina. Like, if you think Miss Piggy wouldn't win that fight, I'm sorry, you are deluding yourself a little bit. I like you. I like your music, but it's Miss Piggy. Let's be real. She's Miss Piggy. But Sabrina and Miss Piggy can have a blonde off, and I would like to see that. And number 13 is another great singer, Adele. Adele does not make a ton of public appearances, so frankly, I think that this is just me wishing, but every now and then on The Muppet Show, like, there's a lot of silly goofs and gaffes and antics and such. But every now on The Muppet Show, you do get genuinely heartwarming moments, and a lot of those come in the form of song. And I think Adele would have been a great person to bring some heart to this season of The Muppet Show. Her songs are full of nothing but heart. They are all so much feeling all of the time. But she has also just gone like back into, I'm not sure if it's retirement or if she's just taking a break. So maybe also this is just some of me being like, no, Adele, come back. But yeah, I want to see Adele on The Muppet Show. Number 14 is Anne Hathaway. Specifically because people who don't know that Anne Hathaway can sing are shocked that Anne Hathaway can sing, and I think that's something she could use to her advantage on The Muppet Show. Also, she's a great actress, and she's really good at, I don't know if you've ever seen her in interviews, but I've seen some interview clips of her, and she's really good at going along with the bit. Like, if a comedian starts a bit, she's good at adding on to it and going along with it. So, while I maybe wouldn't classify her as a comedian, she clearly has a sense of comedy, something that's important on The Muppet Show. So, a sense of comedy, very famous right now, and someone who is a shockingly good singer. No brainer, right? I don't want to say shockingly good. I guess that sounds mean, but just people don't think of Anne Hathaway as a singer, they think of her as an actress. Okay, number 15 is very exciting. Number 15 is the person who made me make this list, and it is Maya Rudolph. If you don't know, Maya Rudolph has a cover band, a Prince cover band, and I think it's so funny. They've been touring recently, and I think that they should have come to promote their tour, Maya Rudolph's band, on The Muppet Show. Also, she's a comedian in her own right, so she would really be able to hold her own against the Muppets. That was another consideration. Is the Muppets at this point are such icons. They're the celebrity's celebrity. Like, fuck Chapel Roan's I'm Your Favorite Artist's favorite artist. The Muppets are your favorite celebrity's favorite celebrity. And I'm not joking about that. So they are just such legacies, such titans, that it's so hard to stand in the same room as the Muppets and not look small. But I think Maya Rudolph, I don't think she would look small next to the Muppets. I think that she would measure up just right to the Muppets, and I think it would be really funny, and I want to see it. Number 16 is Daniel Craig. Now, this isn't necessarily because I think Daniel Craig would be great on The Muppet Show. I do, but I more think it's because Daniel Craig wants so badly to get away from the reputation of being James Bond. So similarly to Daniel Radcliffe, I don't know what it is about Daniels and coming to my Muppet Show to rewrite themselves, but I think that the Muppet Show would have been a useful turning point for him. Because, I mean, the Muppets could have just had him make an absolute fool of himself with his ego still intact because it's the Muppets, and so like no one is going to genuinely, like, if the Muppets dunk on you, no one's actually going to take that too seriously, but it could change people's perception about him. Seeing him get like absolutely humbled by the Muppets, they could be like, oh, you're James Bond, and just like absolutely destroy him. Once again, Miss Piggy does kick his ass. And I think that seeing him get so humbled by such silly characters would have like taken him out of people's minds as James Bond, and it would have been like, oh, Daniel Craig got beat up by Muppets. Am I suggesting that Daniel Craig come on the Muppets to get beat up by Miss Piggy to get away from his reputation as James Bond? Yes, that is a little bit of what I'm suggesting. Okay, so 17 is another one of those ones where I'm like, I feel like if we're talking about a Muppet Show in the last 10 years, we kind of gotta have Jack Black on there. He's been a really big name for a really long time. He's really, like, big in the comedy movie scene. So I think he just, it's Jack Black. If there's a funny variety show, he's going to go be Jack Black on that funny variety show. And also, Jack Black and the Muppets. I don't know if Jack Black has been on something Muppety before. I know he hasn't been on the Muppet Show, because I think he would have been way too young for that. I don't know if he's been in anything Muppety before, but if he hasn't, I think it would suit him. Number 18 is Tom Holland. Specifically, like, in all his promotions for the Spider-Man stuff, which, by the way, Tom Holland, you gotta get away from Marvel soon, or else people are gonna see you as nothing but Spider-Man, and I don't think you want that. Anyways, not that Tom Holland needs my unsolicited career advice. Anyways, we know that Tom Holland is willing to bust out a dance move. He was a dancer, I think, or a gymnast. And we know he can sing shockingly well. So I think that he would be a great guest on the Muppet Show. I think that Miss Piggy would have a very fun time swooning over him. And yeah, like, I don't think Tom Holland would be the Muppet Show's most memorable episode, but I do think it would be a good episode. In a similar vein, episode 19 would be his girlfriend. Well, no, I don't want to refer to her as his girlfriend. No. Tom Holland is her boyfriend. Let's be real. Zendaya is her own fucking name that does not need any other name attached. She's becoming one of the very, very few, like, young, and by young I mean under the age of 45, movie stars. We don't have many. The only two that I can really think of right now are Timothée Chalamet and her, and maybe Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh is getting there. But yeah, Zendaya is really bringing back the movie star, and I think because of that, she's such an obvious choice for the Muppet Show. Also, we know she can dance, we know she can sing, we know she's willing to commit to the bit, and we know she's funny, so she fits. She fits right on the Muppet Show. I want to see her and Miss Piggy be friends. I've said that I want to see Miss Piggy beat up a lot of people. I don't want her to beat up Zendaya. I just want them to be besties. I don't know why. I just do. Okay, so episode 20. This is... I'm a little late, but I think during the height of the Avengers definitely would have been on The Muppet Show. If you don't know, Jim Henson and George Lucas were friends, and they were very close, and so there were multiple Star Wars episodes of The Muppet Show. And I don't know if Jim Henson would have been friends with any of the people who created Marvel. I don't know any of the dynamics there. But I do think that Disney would have promoted the Avengers on The Muppet Show. This one's a bit of a cynical put in I don't like the Avengers. I'm sorry if you are a Marvel stan. I just am not. I just think that this is an episode that would happen, not necessarily that I want it. Episode 21 is Hugh Jackman for a similar reason as Daniel Craig. You maybe know that he has been trying to get away from the Wolverine thing for a while. I guess that didn't work out because he did the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So I guess getting away from Wolverine didn't work out. But if there had been a Muppet Show and he had gotten onto the My Modern season of the Muppet Show, I think it would have worked. Number 22 is BTS. This is slightly personal. I do really like BTS. I love BTS. And also, they're just really, really, really famous. Oh. Do you have something to say, Luna? Come here. She's never been around my tripod before. She's figuring it out. Hi, do you have something to say? Here, come here. Come here. Whoa, look at my puppy. Hi, puppy. She just woke up. Tell them about your dreams. Okay, do you want to stay here? You want to stay here? Nope. Okay, you don't want to stay here. Okay, goodbye. Okay, BTS are very, very famous, so I think that there's kind of no way that they wouldn't have been on a modern Muppet Show. You may not know this if you're not a fan of BTS, but they're very funny people. Especially one of the members, Jin, is known for being very funny. And I don't know how they could have gotten the language barrier, like gotten past the language barrier, but I think if they had gotten past it, it would have been very funny. Also, we know they love to do a little sing and dance. I think they could, like, they and the Muppets could have all done a big group song and dance. I think that would have been really fun. Number 23, Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande is a really great singer. Again, someone who, oh no, she wasn't affiliated with Disney. She was affiliated with Nickelodeon, wasn't she? Okay, never mind. Ariana Grande is a really great singer. She has a lot of messy controversy, which I feel like, listen, if she had addressed the whole controversy she had about going out with SpongeBob on The Muppet Show through comedic song and dance, I don't think people would have been as mad as her. As mad at her. Number 24 is Doja Cat. Specifically because I feel like the Muppets would think that she was a cat and would be very confused as to why she wasn't actually a cat. Don't ask me why they don't have a problem with Snoop Dogg not actually being a dog. By the way, they do address Snoop Dogg as Mr. Dog, sir. But I don't know. I think they would be like, why are you not a cat? Like, you should be a cat. And they just spend the whole episode trying to figure out how to make her a cat in their episode. Just for that gag, by the way. Just for the, why aren't you, you're not a cat? We thought you were gonna be a cat. Number 25 is One Direction slash Harry Styles. So One Direction, because I have been hearing murmurings about them having a reunion. And I'm not gonna lie, I am very skeptical. Some of them hate each other. Maybe enough of them like each other that they'll do it, but some of them hate each other. So I'm a little skeptical. But if they are going to get back together, well, then sorry, you can't just do one reunion show. You have to come on my Muppet Show. Why? Them's the rules. Harry Styles, in particular, just because all of his funky outfits, I think he would fit in with the Muppets very well. Like, out of all of the members of One Direction, I think I would also like to see Niall, just because he's so different than all the other celebrities on this list. All the other celebrities on this list are so big and much, and Niall is just some guy. And what would they have done with just some guy? Anyways, number 26 is Aubrey Plaza. I feel like I don't have to explain this one. My mic died, so I'm sorry that the audio is going to decrease in quality from here. I'll go fast. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was saying that I feel like I don't need to explain Aubrey Plaza, so I won't, because we need to move on. We need to go fast. Number 27. Both Trixie Mattel and Katya, they can have their own episodes if they want, but if they want to come on the show together, I would like that. Again, if you know who these people are, I don't think I would have to explain it to you. Do you think they'd be offended that I wanted to put them on the Muppet Show? I hope not. Trixie and Katya, I don't know why you would ever see this, but if you do, please know it is an honor to be on this list. It should be. Because the Muppets, they're a big deal. I feel like they could recognize, probably Trixie. Trixie would recognize what a big deal the Muppets are. She would understand what an honor it is. Honestly, there should probably be more drag queens on the list, because drag queens and Muppets just seem like they should, I don't know what about it, but it just, yeah. Honestly, not just drag queens. Drag in general and Muppets seems like it should just, like, come on. A drag king doing a rendition of Am I a Man or Am I a Muppet? Come on. Someone's done that. Someone's definitely done that. Okay, and last but not least, the final episode of our season. The only person, as far as I know, who gets a repeat, who has been on the original Muppet Show, and now my season, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton. You can't disagree with me. You can't disagree with me. I don't need to explain myself. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton. I don't need to say anything more than that. I don't need to say anything more than that. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. Anyways, that only leaves us with the honorable mentions, which I know I guess I'm putting Meg the Stallion in. Honestly, I should just throw her in to an actual episode. There are 29 episodes now, and Meg the Stallion is in one of them. Honestly, I think that she would be I think she'd be into it. The more I'm thinking about it, it was just too early for me to be thinking about Meg the Stallion, but now that I'm thinking about Meg the Stallion, yeah, I think she would have been into it. So you know what? We have 29 episodes now, and Meg the Stallion is in one of them somewhere. And the other honorable mention is purely just for me, purely just because I want to, but also because it's slightly plausible. Dan and Phil. If you don't know who Dan and Phil is, then this part of the video is not for you. You won't care. But I think, please, come on, tell me Phil isn't just a walking human Muppet already? I guess Muppet is an insult in British, not British. But like in British slang, it's like an insult, right? To call someone a Muppet. I don't mean it that way. I don't mean it the British way. I guess there's no good American way to call someone a Muppet, but I mean it in a good way. Anyone in this episode that I have said looks like a Muppet or seems like a Muppet, I promise it's a compliment. Anyways, I don't know what the fuck they would have done on there. They are down to do a little song and dance. Dan is a comedian. He did a comedy tour, I think. I just want to see them on the Muppet Show, just purely for me, because why not? Because Dan and Phil on the Muppet Show, because it would make me happy. So that is my modern season of the Muppet Show. If you have anyone that you think that should have been included, please drop them in the comments below. I am honestly kind of someone who lives under a bit of a rock when it comes to celebrities, so there are a lot of people I probably missed. And, you know, if we're gonna bring the Muppet Show back, we can't only have one season of the Muppet Show. You know, there's gotta be more. So please tell me what celebrities you think should be in the Muppet Show. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, share, turn on the notifications and everything. Honestly, I think I've had the most fun making this video of all my videos. So, yeah. Also, my dog needs something, so goodbye!